in Israel and the other people that believe, they're going to be gathered as well. Because he's not only going to gather the lost sheep, he said, I got other sheep. But you got to believe the whole story. Matthew 24 and verse 29. Go ahead.
Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken.
See, this is going to happen during great tribulation. At the end of tribulation, he said immediately after tribulation, the sky going to roll back, the sun and the moon going to be altered. It's going to be a devastating day. See, we think we just had an earthquake in Haiti. We think that's big stuff. You had a tsunami a few years ago. Look, you haven't seen nothing yet. You got great tribulation on its way. Some people say it's 7 years. No, it's only 3.5 years. We got a lesson to deal with that. But it's coming nevertheless. And then after the tribulation, the sky going to roll back, the sun going to get dark, the moon not going to give up blood. Now here come the Lord, and let's see what mission he's on. He told you in Deuteronomy, after the blessing and the curse, he's going to return and gather you from all the nations. Wherever you at, he said. So let's see if this Jesus is doing it. Go ahead, verse 30.
And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory.
See, everybody going to be shook because they're going to know it's a big problem going on when that sky rolled back and they see the Lord descend. See, we didn't make this out to be a rapture or just some secret thing. Look, the whole world going to know this, and they're going to know something is drastically wrong. The Lord going to show them. Everybody going to be running and hiding like it said in Revelation 6. It's going to be a terrible day. And that's why it said here in Matthew 24, verse 30, when they see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory, all the tribes of the earth shall mourn. It's going to be a mournful day. And if you don't know the Lord, you're really in trouble. But if you know the Lord, you might be a little shaky, but you're going to know, okay, I've been waiting on this because we believe this going to happen. But then what's at the top of the Lord's agenda? Verse 31.
And he shall send his angels with the great sound of a trumpet. And they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other.
See, he's going to send his angels with that trumpet. That last one going to blow, and they're going to gather together his elect. That's Israel. Israel was chosen. They was elected to preach the gospel. That's why the world is in the dark, because we failed to do our mission. That's why I know we had a head whooping coming. That's why I'm not even mad at nobody. We had a head whooping coming. And it's even a little more got to come. But we'll get to that. But go ahead. He said they're going to gather together his elect from where?
From the four winds.
From the four winds. What is four winds? East, west, north, and south. Go ahead.
From one end of heaven to the other.
That's the earth. He called it heaven because it's going to be heaven on earth. But one end of heaven to the other, that's identical to what we read in Deuteronomy 30 and verse 4 and 5. He said, if any of yours be driven out to the outmost parts of heaven. He's talking to earth. Ain't nobody lost up in the third heaven. He said, from this will he gather you, and from this will he fetch you. So we learn that Jesus is doing the gathering. That's why Israel can't be home in 1948 or yet, because Jesus is going to return. It's going to be a great day when he do this. Isaiah 27, the trumpet sounding, right? Let's show you who the elect is for sure. Isaiah 27. All these scriptures are in the Bible for a reason, brothers and sisters. This is the answer to a lot of questions that a lot of people have had all of their life. Black and white people. This is the answer to it. Isaiah 27 and verse 12. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall beat off from the channel of the river unto the stream of Egypt, and ye shall be gathered one by one, O ye children of Israel.
See, that means he's going to gather every single solitary one of Israel. He said he's going to beat off of the channel of the stream of Egypt. You're going to be gathered. Every one of you going to be gathered. But everybody not going to make it into the promised land. That's another lesson. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the great trumpet shall be blown.
There go that trumpet. Didn't Jesus say he's going to send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet?
Yes, he did.
It's only one great trumpet like this, brother. The last one. He got 7 angels going to blow trumpets, but the last one is that great trumpet. It's the climax. That's why the title of this, the fourth part of this, the Bible's Black history, is the climax of Israel. This has all going to climax. Thank God he got some good at the end with all that we done been through. But go ahead, with the great sound of a trumpet, go ahead.
And they shall come which were ready to perish in the land of Assyria,
and
the outcast in the land of Egypt, and shall worship the Lord in the holy mount at Jerusalem.
See, they going to come, which were on their last leg. The Lord going to gather. Because before Jesus do this, brothers and sisters, the world is going to face the worst time it has ever seen, the great tribulation. So it's going to be terrible time, especially for those that believe the truth, whether you're a Jew or a Gentile. The Antichrist is going to be hot on your tail. And he's going to be and killed a lot of servants of God, Jews and Gentiles. But those that believe and hold on, he's going to bring them home at this time. He's going to raise the dead too. So now let's go to Isaiah 11. Isaiah 11, and we're going to pick it up at verse 9. Isaiah 11 and verse 9, because this is all over the Bible for a reason, brothers and sisters. Isaiah 11 and verse 9, go ahead.
They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord as the waters cover the sea.
See, it's going to be, when the Lord do this, brothers and sisters, this is good news for all the people of goodwill, all the people that believe the gospel. So you got to believe the gospel, and you got to believe the whole story. No reason not to believe the truth, because that's what will set you free. So when the Lord do this and straighten this earth out, it's going to be no hurt nor destruction in all his holy mountain, because everybody going to have the knowledge of the Lord then. Go ahead, but let's see what's going on at that time. We haven't got to that time yet, but we on our way. That's why people like us are telling the whole story out the Bible that haven't been told for centuries, for millenniums, as a matter of fact. Go ahead, verse 10.
And in that day...
Read a little faster because we're running out of time. Go ahead.
And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious.
Okay, he says it's going to be a root of Jesse, and the Gentiles going to seek. See, a lot of my Israelite brothers, they find out they're Israel, and they lose their mind. They think they're supposed to kill all the Gentiles. They want to hate all the Gentiles. They want to blame all the Gentiles. Look, God is the God of all people. He's going to save people from all nationalities. He just start and work through Israel. And he's going to redeem Israel, but he's going to redeem Gentiles as well. Now, some of them say, well, that's New Testament is false. Well, what you do with this? This is the Old Testament. He said the Gentiles going to see to it because God created all people. So all you got to do is be a worshiper and a believer of the truth that's in the Word. So the Gentiles going to seek it, but now what they going to realize at that time? See, Isaiah 16, we don't have time to read all of it. The Gentiles that got the truth, just like they realize it now, they going to say, boy, we didn't realize our fathers inherited lies and things that don't profit. They're going to say, we got a bunch of lies. I didn't know this. Just like Christmas is a lie. Easter is a lie. Sunday being the Sabbath is a lie. That's what the Gentiles gave us, and we all inherited, but it came from the Gentiles. They perpetuated it anyway. So it's all a lie. And the smart Gentiles, they're going to say, wait a minute, I got to get away from these lies. I've been bamboozled. But now he said the Gentiles going to seek it. But what's going on at verse 11?
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time.
Why the second time? To do what? I'm sorry.
To recover the remnant of his people.
To recover the remnant of his people. He used the second time because the only great time comparable to this last time, he called second, is when he brought them out of Egypt. See, Israel not going to go home by no man-made war, brothers and sisters, like in 1948. Israel is only going to be returned to the promised land by the Almighty God's intervention. That's the only way. Just like they left slavery in Egypt, it's going to be the same magnitude. That's why he said the second time. The first time was when they left bondage in Egypt. The second time when he bring us from all these nations where we've been cursed and scattered at. So the second time, it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time. Now we skipped a lot. It's when it's going to be nothing but peace. And the Gentiles going to seek to this rest, which is what the 7-day Sabbath point to, by the way. The second time to do what? Read that again.
And that the Lord shall set his hand again a second time to recover the remnant of his people. Which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros.
They scattered all over. Go ahead.
And from Cush.
All these are black people right here, but Israel is black too. Go ahead.
And from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath.
Go ahead.
And from the islands of the sea.
See, America is just an island of the sea. So wherever they're at, he going to bring them back. Go ahead, verse 12.
And he shall set up an ensign for the nation, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel.